there are just a few things I think you ought to know, and I think I've got about 20 things here that'll get you through almost any crisis you could face in life. Well, you don't have time to write them down, but you might record them. Here's a few of them, so. Thing you always ought to have to remember, you really should know that indecision is the key to flexibility. And there's absolutely no substitute for a genuine lack of preparation. Put it another way. Nostalgia just isn't what it used to be. And sometimes when, let's say, a policeman stops you for doing something you shouldn't do, you just have to tell him that the facts may be interesting, but they have no relevance in my case. And another thing to be remembered is that a careful application of terror is also a form of communication. I dedicate that one to George W. Bush. He scares the hell out of me. And another thing you might think of, too, someone who thinks logically is a nice contrast to the rest of the world. Nobody else thinks very logically in the world this day. And anything that's worth fighting for is worth fighting dirty for. Hey, that's another one for George Bush. And everything should be made as simple as possible, but not one bit simpler. And friends may come and go, but remember that enemies last forever. Well, I think I'll give you a couple more. I've seen the truth, and it makes no sense to me. Suicide is the most sincere form of self-criticism. Don't tell that to somebody with a gun in his hand pointed at his head. And if you think that there is good in everybody, you just haven't met everybody. And all things being equal, fat people use more soap. And if you can smile when things go wrong, you have someone in mind already to blame it on. And 1/7 of your life is spent on Mondays. Just remember that. When you go to work on Mondays, remember that 1/7 of your life is spent on Mondays. And by the time you earn enough money to make things that meet, let me go over that one again. By the time you make enough money to make ends meet, they move the ends. And not one shred of evidence supports this notion that life is serious. And there's always one more imbecile than you counted on. And finally, never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Just remember those as life passes you by. Good day, though.